Hi, Dennis Weiss for Eagle Communications. Welcome to our town. We're in the best place to find new backdrops in Abilene, Kansas, because there's always something new on the walls here in the little atrium, because your little art gallery. Elizabeth Weiss, Executive Director, good morning.
Good morning, Dennis.
I love the new works on the walls.
Yeah, you know, you were sitting in the official Dieter Hall Art Gallery.
Yeah, very cool.
I don't know if Dave can get a picture of the plaque that is above the door that goes into the auditorium, but we did name the art gallery after Ruth Dieter and finding that plaque from the fire, and we just thought it was very fitting. So yes, we are starting to have some exhibits going on. Sharon Vincent just installed these works, and they're lovely watercolors, and they're summer colors, and we have another artist coming in next week that's going to be installing some more work. So when people come to the opening of Mamma Mia on June 2nd, they can walk through the gallery and purchase the art here. It all goes to support the theater, and a way for us to give back to local and residential artists or regional artists that want a place to display their artwork.
Can I take a diversion back into good old economic revitalization?
Sure.
So at your youth production of Into the Woods, which was fantastic.
It was amazing.
I thank God every time that I wasn't on the stage. How complicated that thing was, but what a wonderful job those kids did. So I'm here opening the door for you and saying good evening. And I've done that a lot. So I'm a people watcher, as you know, and they probably know. But anyway, so since you put the art up, here's the thing. This was just a place people went through. If the only reason they stopped is if they saw somebody to speak to, you know, that was coming in, so in groups of people, and they'd stop. But their focus was only on each other, and then they moved into the auditorium. At Into the Woods, I've noticed people stopping sooner at the first picture on the wall. Now, when you first put it up, people would get about here, then they'd go, oh, there's something different, and they'd start to look. At Into the Woods, people were stopping and looking and then turning around and going up the other wall. From economic investment sort of a thing, you have drawn their focus to something new here. And anytime you get a buyer to stop and look, you're making value for your business, and your business is community.
Yes, it is, absolutely. You know, not only are we a live professional theater, we have the cinema, now we have the art gallery, we have music classes going. I don't know if I can announce this before our board meeting, but hopefully in September we will have dance classes going on here. So, you know, Great Plains Theater is expanding and trying to capture the cultural arts. We need to be the most visited cultural art facility in the region, and that's our goal, and we're taking steps to that, you know, and I hate to keep bringing up the fire, but you know, sometimes you have to. So, you know, after the fire and moving around a bit, and things were a little askew, if you will, you know, being here and finally getting to the point where we are out of chaos mode, if you will, or crisis mode, that we can look into longevity and sustainability and to grow Great Plains Theater into a cultural center. And it's, you know, it's baby steps that we have to do. You know, first is putting together a team, and we have done that with Randall West as our new director, artistic director, and Margaret Clare as our education director, and bringing Alexandria in as marketing and company manager, and Kim being here as our office managers, and Mark and Stanley and Perel Warner. I mean, Mark Warner and Perel Stanley, our tech department. So we are building. You know, we have our foundation going, and it's a great team here at Great Plains Theater, and because of that, you know, we can start building on that foundation and expand and do things that we couldn't do before. And for those of you that know where we are in the Thunderstruck building, know that it is an immense facility. It truly is. I would love to fill this place up with art and artists in residence and dance classes and music and theater programs, and you know, it's unimaginable what we can do here. But our foundation is getting there. So we have our staff in place, and we need you. We need people.
You missed a block of foundation.
Oh goodness, yeah, okay. Probably.
And we just saw them walk by.
Yes.
David and Lorraine McLean walked in with their work clothes on.
Yes, they did.
And before they walked in with their work clothes on,
Mr. and Mrs. Dibbin walked in.
Volunteers who introduced themselves to me and said, "Hi, we're Mr. and Mrs. Dibbins. We're here to work on the costume room again today."
Yes, yes, they have been very faithful, and you know, we did not lose our costumes, thank goodness, in the fire, and you know, we brought them over from where they were, and we had people, you know, Lisa Dybel has been very faithful, you know, working on the costume shop, but now we have a great plan in place. Peggy Riley and Becky Dibbin, who are our costumers for Great Plains Theater, have solidified a plan and are recruiting people. You know, Lorraine McLean is my board president. So not only is she out as an ambassador for Great Plains Theater everywhere, you know, she's here to work, and obviously she, you know, grabs her husband David and pulls him along. And you know, we are truly a family here, and you know, how many times have I called you and said, you know, I need somebody here, would you come do this for me? We are so dependent upon volunteers, and there is always something to do, whether it's hanging up costumes. You know, we're going into a huge undertaking for Great Plains Theater, and that is our season. You know, we start off with Mamma Mia and Gypsy and Ragtime. They are huge casts.
Huge shows.
You know, we have we have our actor housing that can house about 5 actors. You know, we have them scattered all over the community in people's homes that have been willing to take actors. So that's another way. You have a spare room. They're hardly ever there. You know, you have to supply them a space on your refrigerator and access to a kitchen, but you know, they're never there. They're here. So it's another way to give back and volunteer to Great Plains Theater to house people. But
it's also one of the best ways for our community to say to people from outside our community who we are.
Absolutely.
When you open your home to someone, you're opening everything about who you are as a community member. Yes. So, you know, these people, I've heard from many actors here over the last few years, oh, we just love Abilene. I always say, why? And then they tell you, well, when you go to the gas station, people are just so friendly. Or we go to the grocery store, people actually talk to you, and the people we're staying with are just so lovely. You could not pay for that advertisement to the outside world through any other means other than personal witness. What a great thing.
Yeah, it's great, and you know, I'd be amiss for 2 things. You know, when the fire happened, Lorraine McLean's phone rang. I don't know how many phone calls she received around the country. She's probably had 40 actors stay at her home, and every single one of them called her and said, you know, we're watching the theater, and you know, what can we do to help, and how can we send money? So it's a you know, we're a community here. We have a regional theater here. We have outreach across the nation. And it's thanks to, again, to our patrons, to our sponsors. You know, I think of Astra Bank, who has graciously sponsored Great Plains Theater for, you know, in a large amount for a few years. Home Automotive, Brierton Engineering. You know, those we have new sponsors. Reynolds Real Estate and Colhar Pharmacy are sponsors this year. Pinnacle Bank that has wants to come in and do some other type of advertising sponsoring for us. So we couldn't do that without them. Our community is undergirding us, whether it's housing actors, sponsoring, advertising, coming to our performances, and we need Abilene. You know, we need Abilene to support us. And I know David gave the 2-minute warning here, but I want to say, you know, it is Tourism Week. And you know, there was a contest of vote for your favorite attraction and tourism place in Abilene, Kansas.
On Facebook?
On Facebook, and it was set up by the Abilene Visitors and Convention Bureau. And you know, I am proud to say that we have over 400 votes. I think the next closest attraction had 60. That's Great Plains Theater. That truthfully is, and it wasn't, the staff voted yes because we could vote, so we made it our mission. But there were votes from people who had been here from all over the country. What a wonderful opportunity Abilene has with Great Plains Theater, that we have the talent that comes in here, the economic stimulation to our community that Great Plains does. I could go on, and he's going to shut me off.
Well, that's okay, because we have a second half of this program. We're going to set your education director in the chair, and we're going to talk about some exciting things in the youth program.
Absolutely.
But thanks for taking the time this morning to get this kicked off.
You're welcome. And I know Margaret's talking about going into the future, and I want to say, for those of you that took the time to come and support our youth for Into the Woods, they had to have been blown away. We had a couple here, and then I'll finish, I promise. We had a couple here that had seen the touring group, national tour, so professional actors did Into the Woods, and again, they had seen the performance 4 other times, and they said they would match our youth with any performance they had seen. What a testament to not only our youth, but our education program, and Margaret Clare, that she could pull that, the talent's there, but to be able to pull it from those kids and bring them to a higher level. And that's what we're doing here at Great Plains Theater.
Well, that's a great introduction. So we're going to take a break and put Margaret Clare in that chair. Folks, we'll be right back. Dennis Weiss back with Margaret Clare, the education director, and Elizabeth gave you a wonderful introduction.
My pal.
So you're ready to go. Let's start with what I just saw, Into the Woods. And while I enjoyed it, our little experience with the play for 150th year last year, Wild Bill Hickok and all that, and you were the director and we were the unwitting volunteers, I thought to myself as I watched those kids and the complexity on the stage, I said, thank you, Lord, I didn't have to do that. What amazing work came out on that stage. That could not have been easy for anybody.
It wasn't easy for anybody. It's a complicated piece. It was not easy for Sondheim to write, I'm sure, even as brilliant as he is. We knew from the start it was going to be difficult. I don't know that they knew exactly how difficult it was going to be. Sure. Once they got into it, they discovered that quickly. But they really wanted to do not the junior version, but they wanted to do the adult version, which is longer, has 2 acts, has more adult material, and is by far, more complicated. And they rose to the task.
So you got 2 lines of people up there, this dancing, synchronized moves, and then the lines switched.
Now that
My heart was flipping. I'm going, holy mackerel. It's real easy till you try it, I assure
Well,
you.
That particular move is actually, once you get it down, it's easy. It's hard to pull together. The one that is really, really tricky was called My Fault. Your Fault is actually what it's called. And it's where they weave in and out while they're singing, very quick patter, you sing this, I sing this, and it goes very quickly, and they just weave in and out, and it tells the story physically as well as with the words.
Okay, so I've coached 3 sports.
Yes.
I think of the hours spent with basketball post players, showing them footwork on a simple inside-out pivot or an outside-in pivot, and what it took to teach that little, and it's really only 2 or 3 steps compared to what I saw on the stage. And then I said to myself, maybe this is something I should say on camera. The teamwork that was going on up there between coach, student, and all the players is unmatched.
That is one of the things, it's one of the reasons that I love doing this show, and it's one of the reasons I would do this show with a group of young people who can handle it, and this group could, is because it is an ensemble piece. Everybody has a character. There's no chorus in this. Everybody is a character. So that gives everybody a chance to develop that particular aspect of acting, develop character, think about that character. Not only do they get that individualized personality, you know, kind of imaginative personality going, but each of those characters has to work together in this piece. And that is where the real learning comes in.
Yeah.
Is how do we all work together, and what they really grew to understand quickly, and I kept saying, you know, this is like dominoes. One person falls off the cart, and then everything, you know, goes. So they really understood that, and that's where the value of doing something like this is, especially for young people. They really learned that what I do has consequence. Yeah. What I do is connected to somebody else, and if I don't hold my own, if I don't do my part, it affects somebody else. And then they got the reward of, wow, when this all comes together, it is a really cool experience.
Very fantastic. So all of that is to be able to talk about youth camp.
Yes.
So
let's talk about future.
What this means to you and your child, if you have children that are looking, or you're looking for them to have an experience of learning opportunity, and they're not interested in the sports, or do you want a little diversity from their sports life, any of those things, I want to make it plain. And you can talk about youth camp, but what a teamwork value opportunity this is. And you know, I learn more about it all the time as I watch it. So I want to say it to the people at home. So tell us about youth camp.
Well, we have a lot going on this summer. We have the amazing, fun, funny, intelligent Sage Tokash coming back to do improv camp, and that is open 5th grade to 12th grade. She's going to do 1-week camp in June. We're so excited. She's not only has experience through Best Medicine here at GPT, but she has college experience now. She's been on the improv group at college, and she is ready to go. And she is just a blast.
Yes,
so that is the first June 5th to the 9th.
Smart, funny,
capable, everything. She is amazing. So Sage is coming back. We're really happy about that. We have something for everyone. We have 2 1-week camps that can be taken either 1 week or the other, or both weeks. It's called Footlights 1 and 2, and that's for the younger ones, kindergarten through 4th grade. And in that camp, it's going to be a little less stress than doing it.
Right,
well, they can be going into 5th grade.
Okay, yeah. I get you.
So K through 5, and that one is going to be for the younger kids, a little less stress, a little more fun. What we're doing is we are building our own show. So the kids are going to be on a structured plan. They're going to be building their own show. They're going to be writing it. They're going to be writing a rap. They're going to be designing the costumes and doing the whole thing, and then they perform that on Friday. In between, there are lots of fun games, lots of learning. I really believe learning is fun.
It is. It is.
I like work. Work is fun. Rehearsing is fun. Performing is fun. So we're going to be really stimulating the creativity of the kids and putting it into a structure so they build their own show. So week 1, we'll have one original show. Week 2, we'll have another original show. So you could do both weeks, either or both. Cool. Then we are doing a production for the older kids, 5th grade through 12th grade, and that's Pirates of Penzance Junior. That is a junior show. It's a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta. And this requires a totally different kind of set of skills, more legitimate singing, so each student will get coached in vocal technique.
Okay.
We will also have more formalized dance, something that they probably don't, a minuet and a quadrille that they don't always do. But there is, there's been an old kind of musical theater adage that everyone needs to be a triple threat. They need to sing, and they need to act, and they need to dance. Well, it's now become quadruple threat. That is kind of the new wave, and that means that not only do they have to sing, dance, and act, and this is kind of something that Hamilton is illustrative of, is that, and it kind of started with Once, and it started with actually back with the Sondheim show, where the actors were actually playing instruments. And so the 4th element of this is that they actually are creators. They are in some way co-creators of the work. They're not just performing it. And so that aspect, it involves a certain amount of improv. It involves, you know, pulling from all the skills that they may have, not just singing, dancing, and acting. And
I
it
like
really, the fourth one?
Sing the best myself.
You do?
That means if I forget a line, I
exactly.
can just make
That is the beauty of it. No one knows. You know, hey, you're creating it in the moment. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I am as well.
So we kind of that's kind of the theme of this year's education program. We started it with Live Lit, where we actually created our own show. Had some of the actors also get involved in just contributing. We're going to do the same thing with Pirates of Penzance. It is a set show. It's an old format. It's over 150 years old, and but they're going to take it and they're going to be part of the whole production process. So they are going to help decide what the tone of the piece is going to be, what the costumes are going to be. They're going to help choreograph. They're going to help direct. So they are going to participate in every aspect of production, and that's why we did Junior, because it's going to be shorter, easy to learn. And then we'll have time for all this other fun stuff.
As a wrap-up, I want to point people, I saw a press release, came to my email reader, so that means it went out to different news agencies around, but an excellent write-up on the Pirates of Penzance Junior, where it explained this. So if you want to go look that up, it's on, I'm sure the Abilene Reflector Chronicle will have it.
It isn't, just came out in the email from the Convention Visitors Bureau as well. It's in there.
So that's around the community, or you can just call here, 263-4574, and they'll tell you all about it. Prices, $125 for the younger kids, $250 for the older, and there's some scholarships available.
That's right.
If you have a hardship case, call and ask.
Right, we don't want to turn anyone away. I actually have someone who's trying to find a place for their 14 and 16-year-old to stay. They want to come up from Wichita to do Pirates of Penzance.
Wow, that's terrific, terrific. We're out of time, I know.
Oh, okay.
But one of my favorite things is I was picking up my son from youth camp a couple of years ago every day, and I saw this car from Wichita, and it was always be there in setting and had multiple people in it. So after about a week, I asked. And they were driving up every day, waiting on their kids. What an investment, but what a testament to Great Plains Theater.
That's right.
Yeah, so exciting. There's nothing better here than what's going on in youth, and for a community, such a blessing to have. Margaret, thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you, Dennis.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, you need to come and share in at Great Plains Theater down here on Cottage Street. It's where Alco used to live. Now it's a Thunderstruck building, and Great Plains Theater makes a West End terrific.
The West End of Abilene.
Yeah, okay. Dennis Weiss for Eagle Communications. This is Margaret Clare, the Education Director at Great Plains Theater. We're both wishing you a great day.